Now these chopped cheese Hawaiian roll sliders are quick and easy, and you do not have to worry about breaking the bank. So let's get in the kitchen and let's go make these. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get me some ground turkey. You can use whatever kind of protein you like. I'm going to use some ground turkey. I'm going to go ahead and get it in a nice hot skillet. Once I get it in the skillet, I'm going to go ahead and season it down with a little bit of paprika. I'm going to go ahead and add me some onion powder, garlic powder, because you know you can't have one, you got to have both. Going to use me a little bit of that Kinder's burger seasoning, that buttery burger seasoning. That is so good. Make sure I add me a little bit of parsley on top because we fancy just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add me in some all-purpose seasoning as well. Once I get it seasoned to my liking, we're going to make sure that our meat cook until everything is completely done. Now while our meat is cooking, we're going to go ahead and start working on the veggies. And for veggies, I'm going to go ahead and slice up some tomatoes just like this. In addition to those tomatoes, I am going to slice up some onions. Now everybody doesn't want toppings on theirs, so I'm not going to slice up a lot. I'm just going to slice up a little bit because we're doing half with topping and half without the toppings. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I slice up just enough, and this is just about enough here. So now let's go ahead and prepare the bread. For the bread, we're going to go ahead and take it out of the package. Now, for those of you who do not know, you do not have to take the Hawaiian rolls out of the cardboard. You can put this cardboard in the oven, and it says it on the instructions on the side of the box. Next, I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven. I'm going to put it on 350 degrees so my oven can start getting nice and hot for when we're going to go ahead and start toasting the bread. First thing I did was make sure I cut my bread in half. I want to make sure that I got the top buns separated from the bottom side of the bun. So I went on ahead and started cutting it with my knife. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side because we're going to work on the bottom part first. First thing I'm going to do is get some cheese, and I'm going to layer a layer of cheese on the bottom part of the buns. You do not have to do this, but because I like my sliders extra cheesy, I'm going to go ahead and add me a layer on the bottom part of the bun. Now, if you don't want to, you can go ahead and skip this part, but I'm definitely going to do it. So after I get that layer of cheese right there on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and check on my ground turkey and see if my ground turkey is ready, which my ground turkey was ready. So we're going to go ahead and start making our chopped cheese filling. Next thing I'm going to do is add some cheese to the ground turkey. So I had a slice of cheese left over. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in there. But I am going to add me some shredded cheese as well. And I'm going to make sure that I get that nice and hot and everything nice and melted together. Once everything was nice and hot and melted together, it was time to go ahead and start building our chopped cheese sliders. So first thing you're going to want to do is I am going to go ahead and put that ground turkey on top of the bottom part of the bread where I put my cheese layer on there. And I'm going to add my ground turkey on there. I want to make sure that I'm covering up that entire layer of cheese that I already put on top of the bread, and I'm just trying to make sure everything is nice and even, because after we get this covered up, we are going to go ahead and put this part in the oven. Once we get our bottom part in the oven, we're going to let it sit there for about 10 to 15 minutes because we want to make sure that the cheese that we added at the bottom go ahead and get nice and melted as well. Now, while we put our bottom part of the bread into the oven, we're going to go ahead and work on the top part of the bread. For the top part of the bread, I did go ahead and make me a little bit of garlic butter. So I took me a pan, melted me a little bit of butter, added some garlic powder in there, a little bit of parsley because I was fancy like that, went on ahead, mixed it together, and now we're going to brush the top layer of the bread with that garlic butter that we made. Now, this you do not have to do, but I highly recommend it because it gives the bread a nice toasty, garlicky, buttery flavor on the top part of your Hawaiian rolls. It's really, really good. So I do recommend adding that garlic butter right on top. Once I get my garlic butter on top of the bread, I'm going to go ahead and put this portion of the bread into the oven so that it can start toasting. Once I got this in the oven, it was time for me to take out the bottom part, and this is how it looked, and we're going to go ahead and start adding our toppings on it. Now, you can put whatever toppings you like to put on top of your sliders, but we're just going to keep it a little bit simple in here today. First thing we're going to do is add some lettuce. So because almost everybody wanted lettuce, so I'm going to put a good amount of lettuce right on top. Now, this is just some romaine lettuce I had in the fridge. I went on ahead, washed it off, and chopped it up. You can go ahead and get the pre-shredded lettuce if you want, but you can chop it up as well. After that, it was time to add some tomatoes right on top, but I'm only going to do half because everybody didn't want tomatoes. After I got those tomatoes on there, it was time to go ahead and put some of those onions up there. So I'm going to add some onions right on top. Now, if you want, you can add some more toppings on there, like some banana peppers, which I wish I had because I definitely would have added some banana peppers. You can also add some different kind of cheeses. You could be fancy with it, different kind of sauces, whatever you like. But I'm just going to go ahead and put some onions and peppers that I sauteed. And then after that, I'm going to add that top bun to it. After I got my top bun on there, it was time to go ahead and cut my sliders. So first thing I'm going to do is cut them across. After I cut them across, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the box around, and I'm going to cut them the opposite way that I didn't cut them before. Now, my bread was coming apart a little bit. I think I should have let it toast it just a little bit longer so it would hold up a little bit better. But overall, I was super happy with the results, and my kitchen was smelling amazing. Now, while you can have this as a meal by itself, you also can add some side orders to it as well. If you want to go ahead and make some fries, some chili cheese fries, just some cheese fries, it will go absolutely delicious with this. Or like I said, you can just have it as a meal by itself. Once I got all the sliders cut, it was time to go ahead and eat. And when I tell you, this was so good. If you have not made you some chopped cheese Hawaiian rolls, you definitely need to add this on the menu this week, because this was definitely a 10 out of 10. Something quick and easy that you can make, and you do not have to worry about breaking the bank.